Welcome to Coors Field, everybody. Final game of this three-game set between the Rockies and Los Angeles Dodgers. Rockies trying to salvage one of three against the hottest team in baseball. The Dodgers way out in front in the National League West. The Rockies currently in third position out west. And on a pleasant Wednesday evening, we welcome you upstairs. Hi once again, everybody, with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, the Rockies tonight will send Jorge De La Rosa to the mound. He's tied for the National League lead in wins with 15. He's one shy of his career high of 16. All he does is find ways to get victories and shake hands.
Finds a lot of ways to do that. And one club that he's had difficulty against has been the Los Angeles Dodgers. He got his first career win against them in his last start against them. And you look at, he's 1 for 8 right now in his career, but what he has done lately is utilized the slider, he's utilized the split finger, and he's also getting a lot of ground ball outs. 5 innings in all of these here, 5-0, 338 earned run average in the last 5 starts. Interesting note, too, you had Willeen Rosario catching him 6 out of his last 8 starts since the break, and a legitimate chance, if everything falls right, to win 20 ball games.
He's going to have 5 more starts, including tonight, George, unless obviously the Rockies pull it back. One of the other things to note, he's been doing all this with a very sore thumb that when we talk about Cargo's finger, his thumb's not going to feel better till Christmas.
And maybe. It might be January. And the problem is when you start to put pressure on this area where it's jammed, it really hurts when you try to throw certain pitches. And that when it's get affected, as the game goes deeper, it gets a little bit worse. But it seems like he always works through 5, sometimes gets through that 6th inning and hands it to the best part of the bullpen.
Yep, he does find a way to get victories. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about this Dodger historic run. That'll be next as we prepare you for first pitch on a Wednesday night at 20th and Blake.
20th and Blake, as the Dodgers have already won this series because they won the first two as we get to Game 3. We're going to try to put in perspective how hot this Dodgers team has been. Since June 22nd, the Dodgers have gone 53-13. And when you think about the history of the game, there's a few other teams you can compare this to. The 1914 Boston Braves, 26-40 on July 4th. They finished 68-19, won the World Series. 1951, the New York Giants, with a 20-year-old rookie named Willie Mays. They went 39-8 to finish the year, went to the World Series. Sparky Anderson, 84 Tigers, a 35-5 start. They won the World Series. And then there are the 2005 Houston Astros. They began a dismal 15-30, went 74-43 to win 89 games and go to the World Series. On that team, Roy Oswalt, now of the Rockies, he tried to describe the momentum they had.
It feels like every day that you're going to win the game. It doesn't matter what happens. You're going to win the game, and when you lose a game, it's like a surprise, to lose a game. So they're on the same thing. They're on that wave where they're riding high, and for them, and the biggest thing is try to keep it all the way through the postseason. You see a lot of guys do it during the season, and then they start falling off right at the postseason mark. So if they can keep it going, it's going to be hard to beat.
And that 2005 team that Oswalt was on, you're talking about Lance Bergman, Craig Biggio, Bagwell, the names go on. They were a good team. They lost in the World Series to the White Sox. But he said he had a lot of fun that year, and I'm sure the Dodgers are having a lot of fun now as they continue to just roll, especially through the NL West. We'll see what happens tonight. Good pitching matchup as the Rockies and the Dodgers wrap up this series from Coors Field. First pitch is coming up next right here on Root Sports.
On Root Sports is brought to you by your 7 neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Jerry Hairston's going to lead things off for Don Mattingly tonight. The Dodgers way out front in the National League West, and they're taking advantage of an off day tomorrow and starting to rest different people, and you'll see that as you glance at Mattingly's lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Nick Punto will be at second base. Mark Ellis getting the night off. Hanley Ramirez had yesterday off. He's back in there. Michael Young will be at first base. Adrian Gonzalez getting the night off. Scott Van Slyke for Andre Ethier, basically. A.J. Ellis is in there. Juan Uribe back at third. Skip Schumacher will be in center field. So it's Puig and Gonzalez and Ethier on the bench tonight. 3 regulars for Los Angeles. Quick update before we talk about De La Rosa. Puig, good enough to start last night, so he could go tonight. They're giving him a couple full days off. De La Rosa's been sensational, George.
15-6 so far on the season. 159 2/3 innings of the pitch so far. Very good walk strikeout ratio. The fastball will show up tonight along with the changeup slider to try to handle this Dodger lineup.
Won 16 games in 2009 when the Rockies went 92-70, their best record ever. Jerry Hairston, one of the more versatile players in Major League Baseball. He can basically play anywhere but behind the plate. In fact, earlier this year he had his first career start at first base. And that fastball cuts inside, ball 1 on Hairston. Jerry just 1 for his last 18 at the dish. And that's pulled foul and out of play. Hairston has 13 starts in left field this year, a couple of starts in right, 17 starts at third, 6 starts now at first base. He also has appeared at second. And he pulls this one foul.
Might get another one.
1 and 2. Hit the Rockies well this year, 10 for 26.
Well, you're thinking of what Don Mattingly's thinking. To give some guys a rest. He's in a 1 for 18 slump, but he's 10 for 26 against the Rockies. Put him against somebody pretty good. We're going to use that bat off the bench, hopefully in the playoffs.
This is popped up and out of play. The magic number, I mean, you don't usually talk about magic numbers on September the 4th, but the Dodgers have a magic number of 12. Now, I'll tell you something else. If they were to win, check the scoreboard for. I spoke too quickly. Arizona played this afternoon and beat Toronto 4-3. So what I was about to say can't happen. But had the Diamondbacks lost today and the Dodgers were to win, they would be 14.5 up in the division. That'd be their largest lead in the division, in a division, since 1955, when Frazier was a year old.
Exactly. And I didn't watch it, and I don't remember it.
It probably wasn't on TV very frequently. And a base hit to left field for Jerry Hairston.
And the way things started off last night. De La Rosa, the winningest pitcher, percentage-wise, in Rockies history at 34-12 with a 73% chance here at Coors Field.
Rockies defense brought to you by Excel Energy. We bring you the energy you need so you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Rockies will have Charlie Blackmon in left. Dexter's back in center. Second straight start for him after being out for a week with a knee. Michael Kadire is in right. Arenado Tulowitzki. Josh Rutledge for LeMahieu at second. Helton's in there at first. And Willeen Rosario is doing the catching. Nick Punto had a 4-hit game last night. 7th time in his career he's produced 4 knocks in a ball game. Runner going. One play for Arenado, and that's to first. So Hairston at second on the hit and run. 1 out, and that'll bring up Hanley Ramirez. Toyota Talk comes your way in the 5th inning. Text Toyota followed by your question to 720-720.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about De La Rosa in the open about his opportunity to win 20. All-time single season winner was Ubaldo Jimenez in 2010. He won 19 ball games. Estacio won 17 in '99. Francis 17. Ritz 17. Cook, De La Rosa, and Jennings all 16.
De La Rosa would like to produce that second career win against the Dodgers. George mentioned the first came earlier this year. 1-8, a 6.28 lifetime ERA against LA. Home this year, just fabulous. 9-1 with a 2.74 ERA. Who says you can't pitch at Coors Field? Hanley missed a bunch of action this year. First with a thumb injury that required surgery, and then he did a hamstring. But since his return to full-time active duty, he's 8th in the league in hitting. Came back on June the 4th. And he leads the National League with a .603 slugging percentage during that period of time. 2 months.
He's put up big numbers, continued all the way through to right now in August. That last night off, he's hit De La Rosa at a .382 clip in his career, covering 18 at bats. He has a home run and 3 RBIs against De La Rosa. As a pitcher, when you have a guy in a lineup that goes after you like that and has success against you, you go back and look at the pitches thrown. Were they good pitches, bad pitches? Did I tip something? Did he pick something up out of the glove?
Hanley's a .366 lifetime hitter at Coors Field, 23 games. Talking to Don Mattingly about Hanley earlier tonight, he said he's just happy. So all the stuff that you heard about in Miami, they have not seen any of that since his arrival. Content guy, came to spring training in great shape because he was getting ready for the WBC. Lost the bat.
Yep, tough to hang on to that bat in Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. You see part of that, and it slides all the way down there by Arenado. That boy wasn't eager to get it, so Nolan had to get it.
1 out, Hairston's at second base. And now Hanley will step out. De La Rosa gets very deliberate, particularly with runners on base. This is in the air to right center field. Easy play for Dexter. Nice throw from Fowler. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Michael Young.
First round of the playoffs started in Tulsa. Not so good for Christian Bergman. He made the start tonight. 3 hits, 2 of them home runs. So down 4-0 going to the top of the 3rd. Modesto Nuts will start later this evening on the West Coast.
That's a strike on Michael Young. University of California, Santa Barbara product.
A Gaucho.
Yeah, he's a Gaucho. Walt's going to be heading up there tomorrow on the day off. We'll check on Brody. Beginning his freshman year. There also 2 strikes on Michael Young. Young got his first start as a Dodger yesterday, went 1 for 5. I didn't realize this, but Michael Young, when he left the Phillies, was actually leading them in hits. Got a .276 for the Phils. Base hit right field. Hairston will come home. An 0-2 single, and the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. First Dodger RBI for Young.
Professional hitter. Always has been, always will be. Wanted to get that changeup inside a little bit more on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. You can see that pitch starting to work its way to the inner half. He just cleared it, kept his lower half quiet, used his hands, and just drove it to right field.
That's a strike.
A little weird on Van Slyke there. He just kind of dropped the bat and everything. Just watched the pitch come in. 227 against the Rockies. 5 for 22 for Van Slyke.
He's got a lot of power. He's a big man. He's been back and forth 5 times this year between Albuquerque and Los Angeles.
But the Dodgers scored first this year, Drew, 56 and 18.
At this point, what number can you throw out there that isn't just stunningly good?
You're right. I mean, it's like I said last night on air, when you're playing this team with the regular lineup in the lineup and you're the opposing manager and you're advanced scouting for him. He says, well, all right, who do I got to stay away from? Who's hot? Well, 1 through 8.
Seems that
Just
way,
tell your starting pitcher good luck tomorrow night. That's what the normal lineup in. Of course, they're not there tonight.
Reminds me of a college football story, George. A former partner of mine, Dave Lapham, played in the NFL for 10 years, played at Syracuse University. They were playing Penn State. Before they went out on the field, he said, guys, they got everybody we wanted. Good luck.
They had more cars and apartments than we did.
Talk about a motivational speech.
How about that one, huh?
They got everybody we wanted. You guys are the B-listers.
So all you cast-offs,
yeah.
Let's go get them, guys. Come on.
Right.
We can do it. By the way, I tried to get the job, and Joe got it before me, and I could never get it back. So I'm right there with you.
2-2 on Scott Van Slyke. And he got it. De La Rosa gives up a run on a couple of hits in the first frame. 1-0 Los Angeles. As they typically do with Dexter Fowler. Here's Walt Weiss's lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Josh Rutledge will bat behind him. Josh is swinging the bat well in his first couple of days since returning from AAA Colorado Springs. Tulowitzki, Kadaya, Rosario in the middle. Willeen against Edinson Volquez. Couple home runs, 444 average. Helton will bat sixth. Then Arenado, Charlie Blackmon, and Jorge De La Rosa. Edinson Volquez wasn't going to turn down a start. That's not part of his character, but I'm sure he'd like to be a lot of places in Major League Baseball tonight other than Coors Field.
Yeah, not a favorite place to come in here, and Volquez has really struggled versus the Rockies. Last 6, 0-5 with an earned run average of 12.46. Rick Honeycutt has done work to the delivery. If you think back, he was just rare back throw, spin off the front side an awful lot. And what he's tried to do is to keep a 90-degree angle with his front side and keep that front forearm and the back of the hand leading longer to home plate to stay on line longer and to be able to have better command of his fastball down in the strike zone. Bullpens have gone very well, but the test will be now out on the mound if he can stay there with it.
And you wonder how he'll handle it, because he's a guy that wears his emotions on his sleeve. You wonder how he'll handle it, George, if the Rockies put together some hits early in this game.
Well, it wouldn't be any surprise to anybody, particularly him. We'll see what he does, though. I know that they've done a lot of work to make sure he stays in a downward plane. The delivery looks better than it did in a previous outing against the Rockies.
2 strikes on Dexter. Last fastball at 94. He's got a special arm. Volquez has been traded for big-name players in his career. He came up with Texas, and he went to Cincinnati in the Josh Hamilton deal. And then when he left Cincinnati and came to San Diego, he was for Matt Latos primarily.
Well, it's always been a big arm, 92 to 97 miles an hour. Okay, she looks a little better right now. Velocity staying in that same peak there, but what they've tried to work on. If you look at his delivery in the past, what would happen is he comes forward right here. Now watch this lead arm right here. Watch as it comes forward. Let it roll on forward. See how it's staying flush parallel, and then the pull down. So now you're working at a downward motion. You're staying on line much longer than what you were previously. This ball should get in the seats, and it will. So it allows him to take advantage, because he's not a big guy. The advantage of staying down. Part of the deal. If you watch Greinke, he repeats everything every time, and that's what Volquez is what Rick Honeycutt's trying to get him to do over and over and over, is repeat his delivery down in the zone. 9 and 11. I mean, it's not like he's horrible. 9 and 10, but he has a high earned run average. But it's against the West where he's really gotten touched up.
That fastball's up, and it's 1-2. Volquez last faced the Rockies on August 12th here at Coors Field. He lasted 4 1/3, gave up 8 runs, all of them earned on 9 hits. He walked 3. 2-2. 0-4 with a 13+ ERA against Colorado this year. And it really didn't matter whether he was pitching here or at Petco.
When you look at all those pitches, everything's elevated. He was breaking really late out of the glove. His hand was slow to the top of the arc.
Changeup, and that's his best pitch, George. When he's been able to locate his mid-90s fastball, and then he comes with that changeup. That's how he won 17 games a few years ago.
Yeah, pretty nasty too. Yeah, this after the Rockies got after him. He said it. I don't know what it is. They looked like they knew that every pitch that was coming, they knew what it was. Yeah, no kidding. Was the catcher telling them? When you say again, I felt as good today as I have all season long, and then the result's 8 runs. It's not a good feeling to walk away from.
Rutledge takes a ball. Home plate umpires Brian Gorman, Tony Randazzo at first, Larry Vanover at second, Manny Gonzalez at third. Rutledge has hit .379 against the Dodgers this year. And this ball is hit deep to left center field toward the gap. And it'll touch down, kiss off the wall towards center field. Rutledge will high step it into third with a triple. Stay hot, Josh. 4 for 6 since coming back from Colorado Springs.
And last night he hit his 7th home run of the season. And he did it on a fastball down and away, and it left the yard in a hurry. About 12 rows up in left center field. And then tonight, with that line drive into left center field, he just outran the baseball. The Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl tells you the whole story. Fastball down and in. Josh set. Josh drove it.
Tulowitzki now at the plate with 1 out. 0 for his last 11. He did drive in a run last night with a ground out. His first RBI in a couple of weeks. Troy against Volquez. Just 2 for 10. Rockies yesterday fell 7 of 4. They were limited to 8 hits. Ricky Nolasco pitched very well again for Los Angeles. 7-1 since coming from the Marlins. Two and 2 on Troy. Troy in the middle of the month had a 10-game hitting streak. Second time this year he's had a 10-gamer. Hit .332 in the first half. 2-2 outside. It's 3-2. Kadyr's on deck. Rockies down 1-0. We're in the first inning. A moment ago, Josh Rutledge ripped a 400+ foot triple to left center. See if he goes change up here, George.
Well, the only reason I say wouldn't he go hard fastball in, that's get inside of Troy. Troy in upright stance. And I think it's a 1-0 ball game. It's early in the ball game. I don't need any more travel.
Lifetime record of 53 and 50 for Edinson Volquez. This is his second appearance with the Dodgers. He threw an inning of scoreless relief last week. This ball lined to deep left field, and it is off the very top of the wall. Rutledge comes in and into second with a run-scoring double. Troy Tulowitzki with tied at 1.
Tried to come back in again, but once you go 2 or 3 times, Tulowitzki is such a smart hitter that you start to look in there. 24th double of the year for Tulowitzki. Also picked up RBI number 70. When you look at all the dots on that strike zone, you can see it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl. You can see Tulowitzki, smart hitter, opened everything up, got his hands close to the body, able to get the good part of that bat out, just shy of getting into the seats for a souvenir.
Here's Kadir. Michael 1 for 4 last night. That's how close he came to going out.
Jerry Harris did a pretty nice job watching that ball come off of the wall and then making the play back in. Throw was just offline.
Dyer 3 for 10 against Volquez. 2-strike count. Pretty numbers this year from Michael Kadire. 18 home runs. He's driven in 72. Second on the club to Willeen Rosario, 74. Baby Bull is on deck. Tried to paint at 95. Painted outside the lines.
Again, one of those pitches so nasty, not much you could do with it. Off the plate, tried to run it to the corner, just did nick that outside half of the plate, or outside corner of the plate.
One and two, it continues. Tonight's defense for the Dodgers brought to you by Excel Energy. Make the choices that fit your life, and Excel will provide you the energy to power it. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Jerry Hairston is in left. Skip Schumacher is running around at center. Scott Van Slyke's in right. Uribe, Ramirez, Punto, and Young, with A.J. Ellis doing the catching. Punto started it short yesterday. Here's the 1-2. And this kicks away. And Tulowitzki will go to third.
Poor job for me for Ellis. Backhand that pitch. The runner at second base. To me, that's just very bad fundamentals. Watch how you try to backhand. You got a runner on. You drop to the knees and you keep the ball out in front of you. You don't try to backhand it. As soon as you backhand, if it's the heel of the glove, it's going to shoot up above your chest protector. There's no chance of getting a block on that baseball.
Dodgers bringing the infield in with a 2-2 count. Line to right. This will get the job done. Van Slyke makes the catch. Here comes Troy with the Rockies' second run. And the Rockies have a 2-1 lead. RBI number 73 for Michael Kadire. It's a nice piece of hitting there on a fastball on the outside portion of the plate, maybe even a tick off the plate. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more, make your way to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. 2 outs. So here's Willeen. On the move, Uribe throws out Rosario. Rockies get 2-1 lead as we go to the second. The Honey Smoked Fish Company are ready to eat energizing superfood. You can add any dish that's healthy and delicious. Mark Stout, where are you?
I am out here in left field, not right field, where Michael Kadire is, and he hit a ball there for a sac fly. Well, of course, Kadire involved in the batting race, and I thought I would ask Renee Latchman, with his experience in the game, what the mindset is of hitters that are in such a batting race.
Okay, I'm going 4 for 4 today. If I go for 1, I'm going 3 for 4. If I go for 2, I'm going 2 for 4. If I end up going over 4, forget about it. I'm turning the page and I'm going on to the next day. And I know that the guys like Kadire and these guys with the added averages that are in those types of things, they do a lot of things as far as studying their tapes and the pitchers that they're facing.
George, he knows a lot of hitters. He told me in particular Wade Boggs was that way when he coached with the Red Sox guys.
He was that way. Wade had a book. Tony Gwynn had a book for years that he would keep. A lot of pitchers would keep books that they would want to use against different hitters at different times and different situations.
Now, so much information just transferred onto iPads. Video of your swing, video of the pitcher you're facing, certain counts, you in certain counts, the pitcher in certain counts against right-handed hitters,
and sometimes you can
hitters.
get too much.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You get too much information. Not anything against advanced scouts, nothing against video guys. Don't get mad at me. But sometimes your brain can get overloaded and you're like, well, I can't make any pitch. I can't pitch tonight.
2-1 on A.J. Ellis. We just can't get to the point where we're seeing pitchers with a wristband on going, okay, this is A.J. Ellis.
Yeah.
Let me see. What does it say for A.J.?
I want to tell you, if I ever see a wristband in the big leagues and they're calling pitches, I'm going to go down out of the dugout. You get to this level, you better be able to call a game.
A.J. Ellis, one of the most patient hitters in baseball. Here's the 3-1. And that's a strike. It's a typical at bat for A.J. He sees on average 4.4 pitches per at bat. That's the highest mark in the National League. I made it to the big leagues. When I get to the batter's box, I want to hang around for a little bit. Center field, Dexter's there. Well, Dexter got a nice compliment from Skip Schumacher in a conversation I had earlier. Skip out there in center field tonight. You say, man, it is tough duty playing center field at Coors Field. We all know that, as George nicknamed it many years ago, the Ponderosa. It's an apropos nickname. And he said, you got to be someone like Dexter. I mean, he plays a great center field here. He's a long strider, he's like a gazelle. He catches balls, George, that he makes look really easy, that are not anything but. Blackman on a line drive, snares Uribe. Shot at a base hit, and they're 2 outs. That'll bring up Skip Schumacher. Auto glass damage, call Safelight Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com.
By the way, the Tulsa Drillers close the gap. It's 4-2 now in the 4th inning. Bergman has calmed down after 4 hits and 4 runs in the 1st inning. They've gotten after Michael Roth of Arkansas with 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. It's a 4-2 ball game. With Tulsa still hitting in the bottom of the 4th.
0-1 on Schumacher. Oh, George, I was going to call that a strike. What's the deal?
Talk to Brian Gorman. Might have caught the top of the strike zone.
One. Fouled off. Two-1 Colorado. Top of inning number 2. 2 out and nobody on. And the 1-2 to Schumacher. He's got him with a slider. Good inning for De La Rosa. Nice bounce back inning for Jorge. And we'll go to the bottom of the 2nd with the Rockies up a run. Salvage 1 out of 3 here at Coors Field before they head to San Diego late tonight. Here's today's Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index. Frazier, pay attention.
I'm listening.
Home runs against the NL West this season. Adrian Gonzalez a dozen. Buster Posey a dozen. Cargo's got 11. Williams got 11. Cuddy's got 9. And that guy Goldschmidt has had a pretty decent year in Arizona's got 8.
7 home runs against everybody else for Gonzalez. How about that?
For Adrian, you're talking about.
Adrian, yeah, not Carlos.
Hilton's at the plate. Here's the 1-0 on Todd. That's in there, 1-1. Todd was 0 for 4 yesterday, though he did drive in a run. Next hit, George, will be number 2501.
Which one of your kids told you that?
They all did. Todd's hit 355 this year against Los Angeles. Rockies started the series 7-6 against LA, so they're now 7-8 in the season series. Final 3 games of the year will be in Tinseltown.
Coca-Cola value packs are the best deal in town and are available September the 16th through the 19th versus the Cardinals. They'll need to be here for $79, $59. Pick your spot where you want to see. And when you get a seat, that's what it's going to cost you. $59 or $79 for 4 tickets to the ball game.
Todd drives one high and deep right field. Did he get it? Van Slyke at the wall. Can't catch it. Number 2501 is a bomb. Number 12 on the season. He's dipped into the fountain of youth lately.
Now that fan crowd has been out there at Todd Helton for a number of years. And he drives in number 50 with that home run. 366th career home run for Todd Helton. Ooh, fastball away from him, running at 95, a deep high fly ball. At first, Van Slyke looked as if he had lost the ball in the sky, then thought he found it and thought he was going to have a play on it. Not unless he pitched for the Rockies was he going to have a play.
(3-1) Colorado, number 366 for number 17.
Think these guys aren't a little excited down there? You bet they are.
Arenado with a 1-strike count. And a base hit to right. Van Slyke trying to cut it off. He will. Lone single for Nolan. And the Rockies already have hit for the cycle now. Triple by Rutledge, double by Tulowitzki in the first. Home run Helton, single Arenado. Got that out of the way.
Never get tired of watching it. Neither do the fans here at Coors Field.
And Todd inching closer to Ralph Kiner, Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner, the former Pirate. Helton tied with his good friend Lance Berkman, 75th on the all-time list. Leaving that guy Cabrera in the dust. Think he'll homer again, George?
So you're thinking if they all retired right now, Cabrera, he'd obviously be up by 2. I don't think he's retiring. He might, but I doubt it. He's hurting a little bit right now. He hasn't been playing for a couple of days.
He is hurting a little bit right now.
Jimmy giving some time off. Todd didn't take BP on the field today, up inside the cages. Paid off a little bit, huh? Got some extra swings in.
Here's Charlie Blackmon. He's been swinging the bat well. Skip Schumacher. And he makes a catch. 1 out. De La Rosa coming up, trying to move Arenado along. Attention college students, faculty, staff, and George Frazier. Get a 2-for-1 annual ski pass. Go to Winter Park and Copper Mountain just by opening a new Wells Fargo checking package. See details at wellsfargo.com/ski pass. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Now that would be entertaining, seeing you on skis. I would be entertained.
You know,
by
something
that.
I learned something a long time ago.
What's that?
If it doesn't have brakes, I don't get on it. And I got on it one time, and it was not pretty.
Not good?
No, it was not pretty.
Well, where were you? Weren't in Oklahoma. Where
No,
were you?
in New Mexico.
Taos?
No.
Angel Fire.
Yes. And I won't do that again.
So I mean, you were a good athlete, George.
I don't care. 9 knee surgeries later, you don't get on skis.
You'd be entertaining on skis.
To everyone else but me.
That's well,
So,
listen.
I'll tell you what I like to do on the snow is I do like the belly boards and stuff. That's fun. I'll do that. I have a blast on that in Oklahoma. Get a snowstorm, find the biggest hill around. 3 feet high, go.
Jorge gets the bunt down. It's a good one. Uribe has to go first. He fires to Niquinto. And there are 2 outs, but Nolan Arenado is at second base. All right, quick trivia question, George, off the top of your head.
We got trivia coming.
I know, but this is a bonus.
Is this a make-believe?
Well, fans at home can answer it, and we want
All
you
right.
to as well. Which Rocky has played the most games this year?
I'd almost say Nolan Arenado.
And you would be right.
Came up April 14th, I think, his first date.
And knock,
April 29th, 28th, he came in.
And knock on wood, he stayed healthy.
Yeah, he stayed healthy the whole year and had I think, what, 2 days off or whatever. What's that?
It's a mocha.
With what? What do they put? What's a mocha?
What's a mocha?
Yeah, how you make that?
Wait, I like decaf in it.
But how you make it?
Put a lot of chocolate in there, a little whipped cream on top.
So basically,
Espresso.
you know, in World War II, a lot of the guys like to take hot chocolate and then mix it with their coffee with about 2 sugars and a little creamer. I think that's a mocha.
See, you notice during April I drink a lot of these, and then maybe late September if it gets chilly I drink these. But it's not chilly tonight.
It's 80 degrees.
I know. Just need a little pick-me-up. 0-2 on Dexter. RBI out there with Arenado. Yet Nolan has played the most games, George. He's played 116. Kadyr's next with 113, 114 along with Rosario.
And Dexter's hit .312 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. How you like that?
Good stuff. You know, there's one in front of Ralph Kiner. We will show Ralph as the next one up. Former Dodger great, Gil Hodges.
Who's after that?
I don't know, Doug. You didn't give me that. Gil Hodges, the manager of the amazing Mets in '69.
Who's the best pitcher on the amazing Mets?
I'm glad you mentioned that.
What? Why?
I'll tell you why. Because this is a great,
Right,
little
Koosman, Matt
tidbit.
Seaver, who else?
Well, Tom Seaver was
And
the
Nolan Ryan.
Well, Nolan Ryan was there. There's our buddy Steve Lyons, the center, Psycho, was on the left.
This is Psycho right here.
Yeah, there's
Just so
Psycho.
you understand.
Now Lyons had a journeyman big league career. He's the only player who was ever traded even up for Tom Seaver.
What was that GM thinking about?
Very, very late.
Is that a money dump or what?
No, very, very late in Seaver's career. He was traded from the White Sox to the Red Sox.
and Lyons was traded from the Red Sox to the White Sox. I mean, it was late.
Rocky
Sox
Calavito and Adrian Beltre, by the way, at 374 or 71st on that list.
Volquez able to strike out Fowler.
In the inning, Todd Helton does it again. His 2,501st hit, a home run. He's been hitting the long ball with regularity on this homestand. Rockies are up 3-1 on Edinson Volquez and the Dodgers. Insurance game plan, George.
Well, we're already in the third inning. We're going to continue to do it. Want to get the monkey off the back. That's right. First career win versus the Los Angeles Dodgers on June the 2nd. De La Rosa went 7 innings, 3 runs given up. He got the win after being 0-8 against the Dodgers. So good move for him. He'd like to keep on going and get another one here. Get his 16th win. Tie his career high from 2010.
Well, you told me something a long time ago.
Well, I tell you a lot of things.
I know, and this one I actually kept. Swung on a miss by Volquez. And some people dismiss wins and losses for a starting pitcher because a lot of times it's out of their control. Team doesn't score, that sort of thing. But you've always valued it because you felt like the good ones find a way to get wins, even when they don't have their best stuff. And Jorge's an example of that.
Yep. They find a way to get you into the ball game, get you deeper into the ball game. Jorge thought he had strike 3, a little off the plate. Kind of where number 2 was, but that one was swung at.
And his record at Coors Field,
stupid.
It's just stupid good.
9-1 this year. Overall in his career at Coors Field. Well, career at home, he's 43-21. Includes stints at Milwaukee and Kansas City. All-time leaders at Coors Field with the most wins, 34. Aaron Cook with 36.
(34-12). Ground ball to third. Nolan's got it. Knows who's running. 1 out. Stay connected this season by following Root Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We want to hear from you as the Rockies have another few weeks left in this season. Get online, connect with us.
How do you do with that Instagram thing? You do that quite a bit, I heard.
I haven't figured Instagram out yet. Which is codified language for I haven't tried to figure it out yet.
I know you tweet. You tweet all the time.
I don't tweet all the time.
Oh,
I tweet
yeah,
about once a day or every 2 days.
I get them.
Jerry Hairston. Jerry had a base hit his first time up, way out in front on that changeup. Last 23 roadies, the Mattingly-led Dodgers are 20-3. Well, they're giving Tommy Lasorda something to talk about, huh?
You know what I thought was interesting today? Winningest managers in Dodgers history. What name you just mentioned, Tommy Lasorda, you think he'd be on there?
Oh, Walter Alston, but
#1, Charlie Dreesen, percentage.
Oh, by percentage, okay.
Had won 63% of his. Bert Shout had won 59. Leo DeRocha 56. Walter Alston 55. Don Mattingly 54. And Joe Torre 53% of the ballgame. The win last night by Mattingly, 251st as a Dodger manager. And he's only lost 210, 41 above 500.
We were kidding yesterday. I said this, George. I went up to Donnie the first day of the series. I said, man, you're still here. You would have more on about 2 months ago, weren't you? Couldn't do anything right.
Well, you know, I always go back to the guy he replaced. Joe Torre wasn't a very good manager in St. Louis and Atlanta and the Mets. But he got to New York, he became a genius. Won 4 world championships. Well, Don Mattingly was close to getting fired. Everybody writing in the newspapers about it wanted him fired. Ned Coletti showed patience. Donnie showed more patience. Everybody got healthy. Now they're talking about manager of the year.
2-2. Right center field. Can Dex get there? You bet. That's exactly what Skip Schumacher was talking about earlier. How many center fielders get to that? And if they do, how many are upright?
It's all about getting a break and a read off of the bat and having those long extremities to get you out there. A little snow cone action for Dexter. He reaches out to get to this baseball right at the end of the glove, and a little flip, catch, and go.
That's
Everybody going to appreciate that one, particularly Jorge.
That was a fine play. 2 outs. Nick Punto, the switch hitter, at the plate. Big curveball for a strike. Tells you, at least right now, the thumb probably okay.
No more pressure throwing the curve than any other pitch, because you're rolling forward with it from bottom to top.
Changeup. Nick had a big night last night. He had 4 knocks, matching his career best.
Did a little bit of everything, too. Most of it opposite field stuff. He sliced the baseball, did it to Chassin 3 times.
A little Aaron Miles in his game, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's good. Good comparison.
Getting out of that crouch from both sides. 1-2 on Punto. Dodgers have won 6 consecutive ball games. Season best 28 above 500. Two. Ground ball to short. Tulo circles it, flips it across, and Punto's out despite the head first slide. 1-2-3 third inning. 7 in a row retired by De La Rosa. The Rockies have a 3-1 lead on Los Angeles.
Lead over the Dodgers. Let's get you tonight's Frost Brewed Coors Light Cold Hard
Hey, wait
Fact.
a minute. Where are you?
I'm in center field.
All
Why?
right, go ahead.
Why, Frage?
I'm worried about you. Go ahead.
Look at these numbers about Volquez. When you're talking about most losses in a single season by a pitcher against the Rockies, Volquez 0-4 now. In jeopardy if this continues, he'll go 0-5. 4 losses in one season is the top mark. You see Estacio in there with the Dodgers. Adam Eaton, a former Rocky, with the Padres. Xavier Hernandez did it all in relief. You know about that, George, right? Doing it in relief.
Oh, why you go to center field?
Center field's where the party people are.
Hey.
Mark,
Huh?
you're an old DJ.
Yeah.
Not an old, but I mean a former DJ.
No, he's old.
An erstwhile DJ.
What's the question, Drew?
The question is, they had on the video board during the commercial break, and we have musicians everywhere in the truck. Mike Fox, Jim
I saw
Armentrout,
the dude that was
Doug
dressed.
Marino. Yeah, I can't remember who sung "Give Me the Beat, Boys." I want to
Drift
get
Away.
lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Who sung that?
I think it was Otis Redding. No, Dobie Gray.
Okay, you don't know.
Dobie
You
Gray.
don't know,
Dobie
Doug,
Gray.
will you
Yeah,
look
yeah.
it up?
I thought
That-
you meant the kid that sang it because I thought he had an insane clown posse look on his face.
No,
That's another band, but that's more recent.
No, I meant the original.
Never mind. You don't know the answer. Watch the game.
The original.
Dobie Gray. You did get it right. Dobie Gray.
That was my. Yeah, I was on my. But I missed it first. Otis Redding did "Dock of the Bay."
That was a good tune.
There you go. Does that count, George?
No. Go back and party again.
Once again, you knew more than your fellow musicians. Fox,
Everybody in the truck,
Armentrout,
exactly.
and Marino.
That is true.
I gave it a shot.
You did good, Mark.
3-1
Thanks,
on
Rich.
Rutledge. Josh Triple leading off, or excuse me, batting second in that first inning. Scored on a double by Tulowitzki. Rockies up 3-1. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout. The record, Mark was doing this story on the fact that Volquez may lose 5 times to the Rockies. Actually hope that happens, obviously. This ball lined to right center field. Rutledge with another hit.
Swinging the bat like he did when he first came to the big leagues a year ago.
Isn't he? He's 5 for his first 7 since coming back to the big leagues. The record for most games lost to one club in a season is 7.
Who was that?
A lot of pitchers have done it. The last was Cal McClish of the Reds back in 1960. Lost to the Pirates 7 times.
I mean,
Before
what are only like 16
expansion.
teams then, Doug?
Yeah, it was before expansion.
There was only 16 teams. So you're playing everybody like forever. .22 teams, I'm being told by Doug. You played each team 22 times, in other words. That's a lot of exposure.
5 hits against Volquez already. Nobody out in the third. Tulowitzki waiting at the plate. And this goes off the glove of A.J. Ellis. That'll be a pass ball.
Goes to catch his baseball, closes a little bit early, hits right off the heel of the glove.
George,
What happened?
He almost whiffed on that.
What happened? Yeah, well, that's late in life on a fastball.
Troy came within about a foot of hitting it out of here on his double in the first inning. Kadire on deck. To short, Rutledge trying to cross over. That wasn't a good idea. They get him or no? Safe at second. Kadire outraced Uribe back to second.
And I'm not sure Larry Vanover saw it either.
Skip Schumacher's coming in from center field with his hands out. Uribe said, "Come on, Larry."
got him.
He got him.
He got him. See, I think Larry's blocked out by Uribe right there. He can't see it.
He can't see it.
Nope, sure can't. Cannot see it. He was in a bad position. He's got to keep moving with the play, and he didn't move. Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl right here. See where Larry's at in that angle? He's got no shot at seeing it. I'm glad he missed it.
I mean, you can't definitively tell even on that, but it certainly looked like he got him.
Anyhow, after all that, it's fielder's choice. First and second, nobody out. And Kadire at the plate. He lined the ball to deep right to score a run in the first inning. The sac fly, his 73rd RBI.
See if it comes back to haunt him on the wild pitch. It wasn't blocked very well by Ellis. It bounced out in front, but if he blocks it, the runner doesn't advance to third. He doesn't score on the fly ball. So now here's the out. If it is an out, you still can't tell whether he got him or not. It just looks like to me he did get Josh.
Tell you what,
bad slide by Josh.
Yeah,
too.
Rutledge is lucky he didn't get hurt on that slide.
But now you just see if that wild pitch and then the mistake made here at third base where the tag applied or unapplied. The guy is safe. See if he can make a pitch and make it pay for it. They're a pretty sound defensive team, the Dodgers.
1-1 on Kadire. Chased up high, and it's 1-2. Braves lost to the Mets at Turner Field, a rare home loss for Atlanta earlier. The reason I bring that up, checking on Chris Johnson, seeing how he did tonight. Well, he pinch hit and was 0 for 1, so he's hitting .330. Kadire with a base hit to center field. Rutledge around third. He'll score. Second RBI of the night for Kadire. And with that hit, Michael is 1 point shy of tying Johnson for the league lead in hitting. So it's conceivable if he has a good night from here on out, throw out another hit or two, he could be leading the league in hitting when he wakes up tomorrow morning.
74 RBIs on a pitch down and away from him on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mo. He just squares this thing up and rockets it right past Volquez, back up the middle for a base hit. Rutledge, after catching his run from the rundown, jogs in to score.
Here's Rosario, 7-game hitting streak. 14 for 29 during the stretch. Dougie just handed me a stat, George. Dougie's doing new math all of a sudden.
Is this the ERA for Edison Volquez at Coors Field by any chance?
No, he just handed me a note that said that Williams 14 for his last 29. He's hitting .379.
Okay.
That would be .483, Doug. That's the first mistake he's made this year, then.
What'd you subtract after you did all that, Doug?
He thought he had to use a logarithm.
Oh. Oh, those Dayton Flyers.
First and second, 0-2 on Willeen. And he struck him out. It's the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Mr. Helt. AT&T trivia question: who's the only catcher to win 3 National League MVP awards? Hilton's mastered that 3-run homer. See if he can throw another one out there. 4-1 Colorado. Todd drives this ball to fairly deep left field. It's going to stay in the ballpark. Hairston makes the catch. 2 outs. That'll bring up Nolan Arenado. Nolan singled his first time.
MLB TV celebrating 11 years. Catch the rest of the 2013 season in high HD quality when you're not at home. Watch every out-of-market like game live on more than 350 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB TV.
Fastball in, ball 1. Yadier Molina's cooled off a little bit. Yadier 0 for 3. He's down at 322. Cardinals as a whole have cooled off. Pulled hard to third, and Uribe will get the force at second. In the inning, the Rockies get another run. Josh Rutledge started the rally with a base hit. He would eventually score on a Michael Kadire single. 4-1 Rockies. Ramirez, Michael Young, Scott Van Slyke, 3, 4, and 5 for Jorge De La Rosa. AT&T trivia question: who's the only catcher to win 3 National League MVP awards? Was it Johnny Bench? Nope. It's former Dodger Roy Campanella. 51, 53, and 55. He had that tragic car accident. Pitch down. Hanley Ramirez hit a fly ball to center field his first time up. 7 in a row retired by De La Rosa. He gave up a run on 2 hits in the first. Michael Young got a 2-out single to bring home Jerry Hairston, who began the game with a base hit. Back-to-back off-speed pitches, and it's 1-1. High in the air to deep right center field. Dexter hoping for a play. Will have one. And he gets a pound on the back of Michael Kadire. And then that great smile at Dex's. 1 out. This ball pretty well hit, George.
Very well hit, and I think Hanley looked at it thinking, man, I've got a shot at driving this out into the bullpen, and then Dexter floats under about 5 feet shy. You know, when they said you don't hit it to that third baseman on the Rockies, it's kind of the point you don't really hit it out in the Ponderosa too far either. There's a guy out there that can gallop and get it.
Michael Young, that's a strike. You absolutely have, and the Rockies recognize this. You can't just put anybody out there for 140 games or so in center field.
Well, they're not going to last. I mean, it's very difficult to do.
Look at how many runs he saves. 2 strikes on Young. And you really need to have another center fielder in left, and oh, by the way, the Rockies do. That's why
they can fly around. You got a couple of them, Charlie Blackmon and Carlos Gonzalez, 2 guys that can go get it. Dickerson, when healthy, doesn't embarrass your club either.
No. And Kadire is an above average right fielder. One and 2 on Michael Young. Well received by Rosario. Couldn't get Brian Gorman to buy in. Michael Young, career leader in games played, at bats, hits, doubles, runs, triples in Texas Ranger history. Here's the 2-2. Got him with a slider or a split. George, is impossible to tell when he throws that split or whether it's a slider.
The way I try to tell is the split is going to be somewhere between 79 to 82. Touch 85 at times. The slider is going to be a little bit above 85. You see the big move on that right out of the hands. You can see that it is the split finger on a Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mo. Good move, good break, good swing and miss.
Scott Van Slyke.
Good fastball hitter too. Van Slyke is. He has that higher leg kick, a little bit longer swing. You can see as he get a balance point, he picks that leg up, he's got to be able to stay back, and you go combat that with an off-speed pitch.
On the ground to third. Nolan's got it. The Helton high throw safe. That'll be an error on Arenado.
Never fails. You know, when you sit and talk about a lot of headlines, a lot of conversation, and you get rewarded for the defense, and all of a sudden you just have a couple of slip-ups like Nolan has the last couple of days. You know, it just seems like that happens, unfortunately.
A.J. Ellis at the plate. You know, that would have been the 10th straight retired by De La Rosa. 1-2.
Dan Slight just one stolen base. You're down 4-1. There's a 2-strike count. No reason to even try it.
Jorge from Monterrey, Mexico. Splits his time from a home in Arizona and home in Mexico. With his wife and 3-year-old twins at home. Here's the 1-2, and he gets A.J. Ellis. Trying to get the out at first. And Rosario fires to help. The 4th strikeout for De La Rosa. He's in a nice groove. Rockies are up 4-1. Jorge De La Rosa and Dexter Fowler in the 4th inning. Well, the Pirates yesterday got that 81st victory, and tonight, George, this is Justin Morneau at the plate, and Peralta comes up and in on him, and Morneau's like, what's that about?
Yeah, they're trying to explain to him, not on purpose, trust me, and then all of a sudden the benches come out. Trying to keep some things calm down here, but nobody from Milwaukee. Look at the screen. Pittsburgh's walking out. Clint's like, calm down. Let's hold on here a minute. What is that? It's like a gunfight at Till Corral. Everybody runs in, you stand around. Seriously, go back to the get back in the bullpen.
Let's go. Blackman, fly ball to center field his first time. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Rockies. 3 of the 4 runs are earned against Edson Volquez. 2 in the first, a run in the second on the Hilton home run, a run in the third. You recomputed Volquez's ERA, it's actually gone down for the season against the Rockies. Charlie drives this ball to right, and the catch is made out there by Van Slyke. Can't hit it any harder than that. An out of ball. Nolan Arenado may have some sort of issue with that right hand. Is talking not only to Walt Weiss but Scotty Garrett, assistant trainer.
Nolan's not one of those guys that likes to come out of ball games. He's a guy that's not going to complain. He's not going to say it. I mean, that's you know what I mean. He wants to be in the lineup, swing the bat, play the defense, and do everything.
Well, we were told he walked down in the clubhouse a moment ago, and then
Well, if that's the indication, you got Wheeler, you've got Herrera, you've got a number of guys. Pacheco, you can run over there to third base. Wheeler plays it every day in AAA.
De La Rosa takes a strike. He's going down, but he's not bringing his glove. We'll see. Dougie just computed Volquez's ERA. He's given up 4 runs, 3 earned, and now 3 1/3, and his ERA against the Rockies has gone down.
There you go.
It's 12.58 now.
It was 12.69.
No, it's 13.08.
Okay.
2-2.
Well, with every out, it'll drop again, and again, and again, and again.
Arenado's not come back up. DJ has a glove on, and you always try to play guessing games, but players will grab their glove, they'll work their glove, they'll pick up a bat, and you think, oh, he's going to pinch hit, and it may not mean anything. Hopefully Nolan's okay. We're going to talk to Walt Weiss here in a few minutes, so we'll maybe have a clear picture on what's going on with Arenado. Talk to Walt during 5th innings of home games. Volquez strikes out De La Rosa. The 4th strikeout for Edinson. Dexter Fowler has struck out twice. He'll come up.
You still have time to pick your player and donate to Hit Count, the charitable campaign from the Rockies and Root Sports. Every Rockies hit in the second half of the season will mean a donation to Children's Hospital Colorado, Special Olympics of Colorado. Go to Rockies.com/HitCount to donate today.
Lifted to left field. Jerry Hairston has it, and the Rockies go quietly in the 4th inning. First inning, they have not produced a run. They lead it, however, To join us. He's in the Rockies dugout naturally. Walt, we couldn't help but notice a couple of minutes ago that you were sitting down talking to Nolan Arenado with Scotty Garrett. DJ LeMahieu's now at third. What's his situation?
Nolan banged up his thumb. It's been a few weeks now, and it's really starting to flare up on him. In that last at bat, the ball got in on him a little bit, and his thumb blew up. So you could see him throwing the ball across the infield. He really had a hard time. So we're going to get him out of there. We're struggling with the hand injuries this year.
Yeah, you've got a couple of going on, but De La Rosa's throwing up some pretty good numbers right now, and they're looking for his 16th win. We'll see if he can complete this.
Yeah, Georgie's looking like himself. Changeup is real good. He's getting some outs and getting some swings and misses with that changeup.
He's been terrific. Enjoy the rest of it, Walt. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bottom third of the order for De La Rosa. So again, LeMahieu is in at third base.
And I tell you, I mean, and you're watching Nolan. He had a throw the other day that sunk. That one he didn't get behind much. And when you can't feel with your thumb, you're trying to throw a baseball. That's hard.
Ball 1-on-1. That's the first time Arenado's had to depart a game with any sort of injury. Two-0. Good pitch. Changeup. Our Toyota Talk inning is underway. First question: what broadcasters have inspired the two of you, Larry and LaHonda?
I can tell you right now, Joe Garziola, Tony Klubeck, which I thought they were great, and I like Bob Brenly and Tim McCarver from an analyst standpoint. Not too many better than Vince Scully.
Yeah, for me.
And Jack Buck.
Yeah, for me. First of all, you have to be yourself, number one. But in terms of guys you admire and respect, it begins with Vince Scully. He's the best in my mind. Not only there's ever been. He's probably the best there ever will be. 65 years next year, calling Dodger baseball, and nobody tells a story more beautifully than he does. And I grew up in New York listening to Lindsey Nelson, who brought great energy every day. Bob Murphy, who was a tremendous broadcaster. A lot of terrific ones in the game of baseball. 3-2 on the former Rocky Juan Uribe. Can players go straight to the big leagues after high school? Yeah, it's happened.
David Clyde, Texas Rangers. Just an example of that. Not a good idea to do it, but yes, they can.
Right. Did Robin Yount make a stop in the minor leagues? Briefly, right?
Yeah, very briefly.
Rosario running hard, but the screen's going to get in the way. Doug's probably looking that up right now. Doug, last guy to go straight from high school to the big leagues. David Clyde, we mentioned.
Mike Morgan had spent some time in the minor leagues. He would be another guy to pitch at a very young age. But he spent some time at the minor league level. David Clyde, I think, may be the last. I'll tell you, you'd know that. Tracy Ring speaks in it. He was following David Clyde at the time. Did a story recently, Baseball America, about that.
Another foul ball. What playoff race are you most interested in, John, in Lakewood? Well, I think the Central's fascinating.
I like the American League East, too. There's a bunch of them bundled up over there.
Yeah, Tampa struggled out west. They got a victory last night. The Yankees have played very good baseball, 16-7 their last 23. Boston has been steady. That is ball 4. So Uribe, after a lengthy at bat, earns a trip to first. That's the initial walk of the game by De La Rosa. Schumacher coming up. Now here's the Central updated. Pirates lead by 2 over the Cardinals. They're in the 10th inning, tied at 3. Cardinals and Reds are. Reds are 3.5 back. Reds win. They'll have swept St. Louis, and then St. Louis, George, will have lost 5 of 6 against the 2 teams they're competing with over the last few days.
They're in the 10th now, tied 3-3.
This is going to work
move,
perfectly.
let it go.
Yeah. Tulo with some fancy footwork around the bag. It's a double play. George, is it communicated or just a feel that you pull your glove down as a pitcher?
Well, when it's hit like that, not hit very hard, you know to pull it down. There's no reason to try to get it. In particular, if you don't think you can get it or you're going to deflect it. Quite honestly, De La Rosa is a pretty good pitcher, but when it comes to catching the baseball and making moves like that, we've seen it in the past. He throw it over first base. He's done things. He wasn't hit hard enough. He let it go. Tulowitzki's sitting right there waiting on it.
Tim Fedorovich is going to pinch hit here for Edinson Volquez. He caught last night, and he takes a strike. So Volquez will go just 4 innings, and he'll give up 4 runs, 3 earned on 6 hits. Brandon League apparently will be next. Big curveball, beautiful. 0-2. Which teams has the best hitting pitchers? Well, with Zach Greinke being a part of this staff now in LA, and Clayton Kershaw can handle the bat, it may be, I don't know what the statistics will tell you, but the Dodgers are pretty good. And the statistics evidently bear that out. And it's not, forget the average. They have some guys. I mean, Greinke can run. Greinke can hit a ball in the gap. Greinke may be one of the best athletes in baseball. He's a scratch golfer as well.
High school players to go straight to the big leagues. Brian Miller, a catcher with Toronto.
How long ago?
Milner. All in 1978.
Line drive, base hit.
Mike Morgan of Oakland Athletics went straight through. Tim Conroy went straight with Oakland. All those guys in 1978. Thank you, Dougie.
Those were the last, huh?
Those are the last ones. But there could be one right around the corner. You never know. Right? No. You never know. Dave Winfield went straight out of college right after he signed.
He went to University of Minnesota, 2 sports star there.
Drafted by the Vikings in football also.
3 sports, he and Dave Logan.
There's another guy in 3 sports too, Nolan Richardson.
Former Arkansas coach, huh? Jerry Hairston, a single. And a line shot toward right center field that was tracked down beautifully by Dexter Fowler. And Dexter will have another opportunity here. This is more routine. A walk and a hit, nothing else across in the 5th inning for the Dodgers. The Rockies behind De La Rosa, leading 4-1.
As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Josh Rutledge, Troy Tulowitzki, Michael Kadire. We thank you for texting in your questions during Toyota Talk. Tracy Ringlesby sticking around. We'll answer another question if you go to facebook.com/RootSportsRM.
Tracy Ringlesbury. Brandon Lee gone in the ball game right now. This hard-throwing right-hander started out as their closer with 14 saves, ran into trouble. Now they're just trying to figure out a way to get him figured out to where he'll come back and be the guy they thought he was going to be in the beginning. 544 in run average, 14 of 19 in save opportunities, 48 innings so far.
Rutledge faced him Monday night, ripped a single against him. Josh tonight, a triple and a single.
There's plenty of fastball for Brandon Lee. It all comes down to location now. Triple and a single and a couple of runs scored tonight. The average up to 226 now.
It's 5 for 7 since he's returned.
Visit your local dugout stores for all things Rockies and receive great gifts with the purchase opportunities as well as discounted tickets with every $20 in merchandise purchased. Go to 832-TEAM, 303-832-TEAM for your nearest location.
Hard ground ball. Oh, that's not fair. And now the race to the bag. Rutledge. Oh, I thought he beat it. Here comes Walt Weiss, and this is as fast as Walt's run out of the dugout all year. He wants to ask Tony Randazzo what he saw because it looked like Rutledge beat it.
I think the hand got there under the spike of Brandon Lee, and I don't think Tony Randazzo realized how quick this was going to get the last 4 steps for Rutledge. Watch right here. Hands in.
Oh, he beat it.
Yeah, he sure did beat it. You see it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl. You'll watch it right here. I mean, the hand's already ahead of the foot. Say,
that should have been easy to call. I mean, listen, they have a tough job, but that was right in front of him. He slapped the bag emphatically, and the foot's still in the air. You know, Rutledge should be 3 for 3, but he's not. Tulowitzki a double and reached on a fielder's choice. Two outs. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Michael Kadire. Michael, an RBI single his last time. He had a sac fly in the first, so he's now tied with Willie Rosario for the RBI lead on the club with 74. Safe Light Auto Glass place to go if you have auto glass issues. 303-287-5000 their number, or safelight.com online. (2-0) for Cuddy, base hit left field.
.331 now for Kadire.
And with that, he takes over the lead in the National League batting race.
Sinker down and in, just open front side, turn on the baseball. The Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo really let you see how hitters get to a 94-mile-an-hour fastball on the inner side of the plate. They've got to get everything cleared out of the way so they get the bat head through and keep it in fair territory.
Willeen, a ground ball to third and a strikeout. And moving on up, Michael Kadire, another wild pitch. Volquez threw a wild pitch. Now League has one.
Kind of got a little Bob Uecker thing working here tonight on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mode. Let it fly on by. When it quits rolling, I'll pick it up and toss it back to you.
This ball lined the other way.
Duck or have a glove on. One of the two.
Good changeup. And another wild pitch.
Another wide miss by League, all the way back and halfway up the screen, and will advance the runner to third.
Deep center field. Schumacher will make the play. Kadire base hit. He works his way around to third. Left there. Rockies 4 and Dodgers 1 as we go to the 6th. Reserve Ford Fusion. Go further. By the Courtyard by Marriott, Western Elegance in the cultural heart of the city. And by Southwest Airlines. Find their fares online only at southwest.com. Beautiful night in the city of Denver. Rockies leading the Dodgers 4-1. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout. To the 6th we go. Nick Punto, Hanley Ramirez, Michael Young against Jorge De La Rosa, who comes into the contest 15-6 with a 3.33 ERA, bidding to match his career best with a 16th W. 16 victories in that 09 campaign that saw the Rockies go to the postseason.
Give you a quick update. Tulsa trails 7-2 there. Bergman 4 home runs given up with 6 innings. The ball game out in California. Tyler Anderson has gone 5 innings, 4 hits, the former #1 draft pick, couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. But he has given up 3 runs, 2 earned, and they trail in the ball game 3-0. 3-0 after 6 innings.
1 on Punto. 2 ground outs to the left side. 0-2. Dodgers are 40-27 out on the road. The possibility of producing the greatest road season they've ever had in their history. One and 2. Most games they've ever won on the road was 50 back in 1974. Just 14 more games on the road.
You know, I want to ask a question. There's the highest average out on the road. Let me ask you a question. If it ended today, Dougie, who would play who in the playoffs? So would it be Dodger Braves?
No, it would not. The Braves have the 1 seed right now.
So it's going to be Dodgers and probably the winner of the wild card?
No, the Braves would have the winner of the wild card, and the Dodgers would have the winner of the NL West. NL Midwest.
Yeah, they can't. They didn't play themselves.
Out of the NL Central.
Yeah, they play Pittsburgh probably right now. If it ended today, they play Pittsburgh. Atlanta versus the wild card winner of St. Louis, Cincinnati. I just started to think that last ball game, you have a day off on Monday, and then you play on Tuesday. You travel. Pittsburgh would travel to L.A.
The Dodgers, according to Don Mattingly, getting everybody rested this week. They want to make that strong push because if they can catch Atlanta. Atlanta has the best record in baseball. They end up with the #1 seed in the NL.
All kinds of things going on in that wild card chase right now with the Diamondbacks. You can see that 13 back, but man, you go to that wild card. Oh man, it did get crazy. The Reds are in basically. Then you have the Nationals, Diamondbacks. The one I like is the National League East. All that tied up in the wild card over there. We'll look at the American League. Excuse me. We'll have flip that over here in just a minute. A base hit to right field for Nick Punto.
Well, the American League West is dead heat.
Talk about American League East and the wild card.
Yeah. The American League West, we kind of failed to mention that last inning when we were talking.
And boy, did we get chewed out by Jim Armentrout, our director tonight, who's a big Oakland fan. Grew up out there. And there's what Drew's talking about. 80-59 deadlocked, and today Oakland smoked Texas 11-4. Parker got the win in that ball game.
Yu Darvish started for Texas too. Hanley Ramirez, a couple of fly balls to center field.
Well, as it has been in the past, the 6th inning's kind of been a bugaboo for De La Rosa. 85 pitches right now for him in the ball game. It's typically about this 80 to 95 range where the thumb starts flaring up, and that's just use. You know, you say 85 pitches. Well, okay, tack on another 48 pitches to warm up. In between innings, you get 8. He's done it 6 times, and then 45 to 50 pitches to warm up before the ball game. So you start to add it all up, it's about 200.
You know, we don't say this enough, George, but what he's dealt with this year, every start, Jorge's a tough guy. It's not. There have been times where you thought, well, maybe the Rockies will push him back a day or two. They haven't done it. He refuses to get pushed back.
Right. Well, just kind of show that toughness to the rest of the league, the ability to go out and win a lot of baseball games. Doug, I know I should know this, and I don't, but I want to ask it anyway, because I know you'll give me the correct answer.
2-1.
Most single season wins by a Mexican-born pitcher.
Fernando, isn't it? Down a couple booths. Go
find
after
out.
him.
We'll find out here in just a minute. That's why Doug gets $2,000 a game. Let's look this stuff up.
And he's underpaid. There's Fernando kind of hiding behind the monitor there. Hard ground ball, too low. Couldn't stop it, and it's a base hit for Hampton.
Keep Duggar in the dugout, really watching De La Rosa now and see if he alters anything at all. Right on the front step, visiting with Chad Bettis right now, but really making sure everything's supposed to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. You called it hard ground ball, one step and dive for Tulo, didn't get the ball. He's disappointed. Most wins, Drew. Esteban Loaiza with 21. Valenzuela with 21. And then Teddy Aguirre with 20. Valenzuela won 19 a few times. 17 a few times.
Not down to play. Swing and bunt. Now you got issues.
Now you got a little issues working.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Rockies up 4-1.
Soft tapper, everybody back. There's no play at all. DJ did the right thing. He ate the baseball. See this guy right here with his hand out right there? It's like, why did you throw the ball? What are you doing? Looks a lot easier from 200 feet away, trust me.
And this is going to be a check swing double play. Out at first base. Rockies get 2 outs, give up a run. Van Slyke, the check swing, 6-4-3 double play. Boy, did De La Rosa need that. You had the excuse me hit, and then you got the excuse me double play.
Big time excuse me double play here. Look at this. You got to check on everything. A ball up a little bit. Check swing. You got to take off quick now, but look at that quick exchange over to Rutledge. Fired to first to help with the perfect stretch out to the baseball.
Big man got up the line.
Yeah, well, you got to get rid of this ball in a hurry. He plays the outfield. He can run a little bit. See, watch this guy. Here he is now. Okay. You like us again, pal? Huh? How about it? Got a double play. That's right.
Got to bear down here, though. You got a 2-run lead. Give up a single, and it's a 1-run ball game. Hanley's at third. One on A.J. Ellis. 2-strike count.
It appears to be Wilton Lopez. It is down in the Rockies bullpen right now. More than likely going to come in and pitch the 7th inning. De La Rosa can shut down the rest of this one at 90+ pitches right now. Sitting for him. And there's Wilton Lopez firing and getting ready to come into the fray of things.
Good block, George. That's a great block right there by Rosario.
Anticipation about where you think that ball's going to go. And when you ask for that pitch down, you've got to be prepared to get there to get it. Took that off the wrist. Looked like off the forearm. On a Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo right here. A little bit edge of the heel and then off the chest protector.
One and two. Jorge trying to make one more pitch, and he'll do it. Make a good throw. And he will.
Bases loaded, nobody out. De La Rosa gives up just 1 run. Good pitching. 4-2 Rockies, middle of 6. Rockies struck early against Edinson Volquez. This double off the top of the wall by Troy Tulowitzki scores Josh Rutledge, who had tripled. 1-0. And then a fastball away. No problem for Michael Kadire. He lines it to deep right field. And Tulowitzki can stride home with the Rockies' second run in the second inning. Todd Helton sitting on 2,500 hits. Making a campaign for his next 2,500. Hits it out. 12th of the year. Third inning. There's Kadire again. Behind in the county lines are a run-scoring single up the middle. Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address, now open in Greenwood Village. Todd Helton at the plate. He takes a strike against J.P. Howell, Thurston's son.
You sure about that?
No.
You check that out too? Researching, or are you just making stuff up?
Doug told me.
Oh, Doug told you. Is that Thurston's son? Doug, I have a headset on and I cannot hear you. Probably write it would be better.
It's Thurston and Lovey's third son. 55th appearance for JP.
Pretty good job he's done out of their bullpen for him. 11 holes on the year. He doesn't normally do that. He just kind of comes in and gets your 5th and 6th.
Helton saw the curveball the whole way, 1-2.
This is a really good question by Doug. He wanted me to ask you this. How did he get off the island when the rest of them didn't?
Oh, they eventually got.
You're going to make something up here.
Well,
because you're stuttering. So I know you're lying. I want to hear it though.
Thurston and Lovey spent a lot of time in that island. Just saying.
Yeah.
2-2.
Never miss Gilligan's Island.
Good show. And that one got tied. Howell strikes out Helton, and that'll bring up DJ LeMahieu for the first time tonight. He came into the ball game an inning ago for Nolan Arenado. Arenado's thumb, according to Walt Weiss, has been sore. We had Walt on last inning. It's been bothering him for a couple of weeks. Got jammed
Right
a little
there.
bit earlier in the ball game and
Go
blew
ice
up
it.
on.
Calm it down. You got the rest of this game and tomorrow off. Coors Field is available year-round for special events. Most areas of the ballpark can be reserved. 303 Rockies for more information.
Curveball, good one. 1-1.
Mike Shaw Super right out of the hand, a knuckle curve. Meaning that index finger knuckle up on top of the baseball, dropped it right into the hands of A.J. Ellis.
Fouled off. Rockies now using that man more in one-inning roles. I want to see how that looks in the month of September. He's been doing it last week to 10 days. Coming in just looking to get 3 outs as opposed to working multiple innings as he was doing most of the year. Rockies are 4-4 thus far on this homestand. Victory, they'll head out to San Diego late tonight. They'll be 5-4. That's something the Rockies started this year. They'd never done it in the past, George. Even if there's a day off, instead of traveling on your day off, Rockies are going a full day early. I helped them acclimate on the road. LeMahieu thinks he fouled that pitch off. He's arguing now with Brian Gorman. The Dodgers have thrown it around the infield. And guess what? DJ's going to win his case. I think he's still hanging out in the batter's box. Maybe not.
Waltz just said, hey, listen, you don't think you saw it, don't think you heard it. Well, I can tell you right now that all 3 guys are cumulatively 400 feet away from it. They didn't see it either. They're saying foul ball. Do you see it? No, didn't see it.
And Tony Randazzo
said foul ball. Do you see it? No, didn't see it. This game's been playing long enough. They got a 4-2 lead. Bring him up. Let's go. Because I didn't see it. You didn't see it. I didn't see it. You think you saw it? No, you didn't see it. Kid, you didn't see it. Go to third. Oh, wait a minute.
No,
somebody saw it. I like it.
Now here comes Mattingly. A.J. Ellis pleading his case. George, you had the reenactment going just fine, but you messed it up.
Yeah, who saw it?
I want to say Larry Vanover saw it. Tony Randazzo clearly didn't see it.
Good for the Rockies. This is in the minor leagues. This is where you usually hear 3 Blind Mice song. Not right now. You do. Yeah.
Yeah, the organist.
Yeah.
3 blind.
Yeah, that's what the song usually pops up about right now.
So DJ at the plate still with a 2-2 count. You want to see Donnie really get hot? DJ lines one in the gap right here.
No, hit it over the fence.
Three and 2.
He's still mad. He still can't believe it. I think you'll hear a few choice words here in a minute if it's one of the, if he gets on base in any fashion. Maybe not. 4-2 ball game. 13.5, 14 game lead.
Well, this time he's not going to get a second opinion. 2 outs.
A.J. Ellis is talking to him pretty hard right now, though, behind home plate. They're sitting there talking about what just happened. Mike Shaw, Subaru Super Bowl. You can see that ball didn't miss.
Blackman lined to right his last time up. Charlie 1 for 3 last night, a double. He had 3 hits in the first game of this series.
Pacheco waits in the on deck circle.
Strikes out the side, making Thurston and Lovey proud. We'll go to the 7th. The Rockies up 4-2.
All night long, we've been throwing in a lot of Dodger stats. Earlier, Drew and George were talking about managers and winning percentage. I know Walter Austin's name came up. Well, you also mentioned the 1955 team that won the World Series. In '56, they lost the World Series. Did you guys know that the Dodgers played games in Jersey City, New Jersey that counted in '56 and '57?
I did not know that.
And I did know that. You know why I knew that, Mark?
Why, Frazier?
Because in 1977, Holyoke, Mass, they had Jersey City, Jersey had a Double-A team, and the poles were inside the outfield wall by about 25 feet.
They played at Roosevelt Stadium.
That's the one.
Apparently, Walter O'Malley, at that time frame, Ebbets Field was a bad place to see a game. I guess the neighborhood wasn't good in Brooklyn. By the way, Ottavino's on the hill from Brooklyn. But we digress.
I catch the tie now.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So they weren't drawing well. And to put some, I guess, some pressure on the politicians in New York, O'Malley said, I'm going to play games at Roosevelt Stadium in Jersey City, which used to be a AAA farm team, I guess, of the Giants, and had some pretty decent attendance. So they went 6-1 there in '56. Then they went 5-3 in 57. In 58, they went to L.A. But the last time they played a real game in New Jersey was September the 3rd of 1957. Now get this, in that game, Drysdale is winning 2-0 with 2 outs and a runner on second, top 9, gives up a 2-run homer, stays in the game, and loses it in 12, 3-2. He goes the distance.
Well, they did that all the time back then.
I know, they did. That was the final, a real baseball game played in the state of New Jersey.
Interesting stuff that only
Did Marino
Mark would
know
be
that?
able to dig up.
We played in that ballpark. Remember the Holyoke, what we call the Millers, I think?
The summer ball?
No, it was Double-A franchise of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Look, we're going to have another argument here.
Here we go.
Uribe foul tip. Rosario, according to Gorman, caught it. I think. Look at Dice. I think Juan saying the ball hit the ground. Now they're going to check the baseball. And Uribe's going to win his argument. So the Rockies have won 1 and the Dodgers have won 1.
Hitters could feel when they hit this.
Well, I don't know.
When you know it.
Yeah. That one did make a difference. A base hit. Tying run coming up in Skip Schumacher.
There's a look at Adam Ottavino, who's been working in ball games now. Drew mentioned been back into the bullpen, 7, 8, and 9. 71 innings on the year, 5 holes. Their run average 2.79. Josh Outman is also throwing down in the bullpen right now for the Rockies. Get that matchup going. Carlos Marmol is throwing down in the bullpen for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
They're in the 13th inning in Cincinnati. 3-3 Cardinals and Reds. Final game of their 3-game set. Good block. Let me correct that. That's going to be a 4-game set. Greg Reynolds, Lance Lynn tomorrow.
But I was reading that Senegrini was what's going to be back for the start tomorrow for the Reds.
So it won't be Greg Reynolds.
Probably not going to be Greg. It's probably going to end up being the left-hander Senegrini. They've done such a great job. Cingrani, excuse me.
Two and one. Now it's 3 and 1. And now a walk, and they're 2 on. And Adrian Gonzalez is going to stride to the plate as the pinch hitter. Time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Running catch, right center field. Dexter Fowler, snow cone, readjust the glove, got the rock.
That's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Going to go to the lefty now with this. You try to make those left-right matchups work for you. Josh Outman to come on and face Gonzalez. He's 1 for 11 against Gonzalez, or I should say Gonzalez against Outman.
2 on, nobody out. Rockies up 4-2. Dodgers hitting in the top of the 7th. Root Sports this Saturday, tune in at 2 p.m. The Wyoming Cowboys back home in Laramie taking on the Idaho Vandals. The best in Mountain West football right here on Root Sports. Josh Outman's been summoned from the bullpen to face Adrian Gonzalez. With a couple of Dodgers on base and nobody out.
Does a pretty good job with men on base. 79% have not scored. 67% of the time he will not allow the leadoff man on. So hopefully right guy at the right place. Mentioned just a minute ago, Gonzalez 1 for 11 against Outman.
And Adrian swings and misses at that slider.
Well, most of the time you come off the bench as a pinch hitter. 9 out of 10 times you're going to throw. They're going to think you're throwing a fastball to get ahead, strike one. When you can command the slider, you'll get a lot of swing and misses. That's exactly what Josh just got on Gonzalez. Left-handers hitting a meager 202 against Josh.
Boy, Williams had to block a lot of pitches, hasn't he?
Done a good job of doing it, too. On the other side of that, A.J. Ellis has just let him run to the screen. Make sure you are on the wrong right page here. 4-2 ball game. I mean, this is crucial. You've got Gonzalez up, their leading RBI man, and you're going to put the top of the lineup over to Jerry Harrison and Nick Punto. They do have a right-hander again, and Wilton Lopez going in the bullpen.
Look at that, left on left, most ribbies National League or period against lefties. Adrian Gonzalez. Williams next.
Josh Wright, not the normal lefty you're facing.
One and two. Got him.
Pretty able swing on the slider. Nasty slider right there.
You don't see Adrian Gonzalez look like that very frequently.
No, totally fooled by the slider. Certain guys own you, and I guess Altman owns him. 1 for 12 now. Here's that hard slider down and away, and Walt's going to make the move now and go get Wilton Lopez to face Jerry Harrison. And again, they've got an awful lot there for you to take and choose from. Well, the Dodger fan not happy. The Rocky fan with the hands up. Really? Why now?
Where did you get that Dodger hat?
At an old Dodger store.
Josh Outman got Gonzalez. Jerry Hairston will be coming up next. Here comes Wilton Lopez driving in from the Rockies pen. 4-2 Colorado. Rockies up 4-2. Outman a huge strikeout of Gonzalez. And now Jerry Hairston and the right-hander Wilton Lopez. 2 Dodgers on base. Uribe began the inning with a single. And then Skip Schumacher walked on a 3-2 pitch from Adam Ottavino.
A good number for Lopez. 68% of the time leadoff runners do not get on base against Lopez. Inherited runners, a little different story there. 69% have not scored. You'd like that number up in the late high 70s, early 80s to be right in the spot you need to be.
Now, that's a veteran guy, George. He's going to battle you. He's going to make you throw strikes.
Yeah, and I think this is where Wilton, on focus and under control of the situation, that's he can flip a double play in a heartbeat. Hard sinkers down and in. That ball can get driven to this side. You got to be ready to turn it from over there.
I don't know if this is hit hard enough. DJ will get 1. And it's first and third, 2 outs on the mishit ground ball by Hairston. And that'll bring up switch hitter Nick Punto.
And you know what? You're saying at home, why did he go to second base? Well, you know what? On his high chop and he got to the ball, maybe he could have gone to first, but he knew he could get the guy at second. The play sitting right in front of him right here. When he's looking at it, he's 8-10 feet beyond the bag, so he feels like pretty comfortable making that throw to second base.
And that's obviously where you want to go to keep another runner out of scoring position.
The Dodgers now 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. The Rockies 2 for 8. Walt Weiss studies the lineup card of the Los Angeles Dodgers, trying to play along with Don Mattingly where he might go to next.
You don't want to deal with Hanley Ramirez here. You want to get Nick Punto.
Punto, what he's going to try to do is take the ball to the opposite field. If you can counter and get him out on his front foot, a lot of times he'll hook this thing on the ground right to Rutledge.
1 for 3 against De La Rosa, who's on the plus side. Jorge tonight, 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts, bidding for his 16th victory of the year. He's one of 3 pitchers in the National League with 15 wins. Uribe at third. Hairston, who runs well, is at first.
Punto really struggling with runners in scoring position, particularly with 2 outs. He's 4 for 27. He's had a lot of opportunities, only hit 148.
Three others with 15 wins along with De La Rosa: Jordan Zimmerman, Francisco Liriano, and Adam Wainwright. Down the left field line, out of play. The Cardinals have taken a 4-3 lead in the top of the 14th inning in the Queen City of Cincinnati. Yankees won again. They beat the White Sox 6-5. Boston missed an extra point, but they held on to beat Detroit 20-4. They hit 8 bombs in that game.
Unbelievable.
1 and 2 with 2 outs. Lopez to Punto.
We're told by Mike Fox, Big Papi hit a couple of home runs in that ball game.
He's worked himself out of a big slump he was in a few days ago. You know what? He also got his 2000th hit, I believe, tonight. Crowd getting involved. The Rockies trying to cling to that 2-run lead here in the 7th. Another 1-2 pitch from Lopez. On the ground to third. DJ's got it. Good feed to Rutledge, and that ends the inning. A terrific job by the combination of Outman and Wilton Lopez to get out of that. Next is brought to you by CenturyLink. Well, what's next is a day off tomorrow, and then the Rockies will have a 9-game, 10-day trip. Actually 11, because they're leaving tonight. Padres over the next 3 days, beginning on Friday, and then San Francisco. Day off Thursday in Arizona. And then the Rockies will take on the D-backs the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And then it's home 4-game set against the Cardinals. That's what's next. Brought to you by CenturyLink. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout. Rockies with a 2-run lead, 9-1 and 2 to face the former Cubs closer Carlos Marmol. And Corey Dickerson's going to pinch hit now for
Dickerson pinch hit yesterday and struck out to end the ball game. Tonight, 4 hit a double.
And Corey takes a strike.
Well, Marmol's fastball is still up around 95. It became strikes was the issue in Chicago. Being able to consistently throw the baseball in the strike zone. And the sliders come back a little bit. That first fastball for a strike at 95. Heads up.
0-2 count on Dickerson with Dexter Fowler on deck. And a base hit to center field on an 0-2 pitch. Hey, well, when a guy has a really good fastball, hitters have said this many times. George, you've heard it. I've heard it. They spin one, and the hitter says to himself, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no kidding. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what happens here. Slider down and into Corey. Backed off the velocity on a Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. You can see the ball hit right back up into right center field by Corey Dickerson. He'll stay in the ball game and run the bases. The other night did not. Here he will.
He's been battling tendonitis in the knee area. And Dex goes to lay down a bunt, kind of like that thought.
St. Louis has gone on top of Cincinnati 4-3 during the 14th. You just said that, but who's in the ball game now? Because I know Arroyo's not pitching for Cincinnati at this point.
That would be a story if he was.
Shelby Miller started for the Cardinals.
Now the game that Mark was talking about at Roosevelt Field, Jersey City.
Maybe.
Yeah. Dex with a base hit to center. And Dickerson will move from first to third. This gets away for a moment. Dex couldn't move up though. First and third, nobody out for the Rockies. The bottom of the 7th against Carlos Marmol. First hit of the night for Fowler. Josh Rutledge coming up.
Mike Shaw Subaru, see fastball away on a slow motion camera, and you can see Dex just drop the head of the bat and keep the head on. A shot to left field. Dickerson jogs into third base. Now you got first and third. And Josh Rutledge, who's been one of the hottest hitters for the Rockies since returning from Colorado Springs, a triple and a single.
Pitch called a strike. Rutledge is triple and a single, as George mentioned, and then really should have had a hit in the 5th inning and missed call at first. Took an infield hit away from him. Edward Mejica's throwing for St. Louis right now. Good swing.
Well, they're the guys that kind of get saved to the very end. He's a closer. They'll use whoever, whatever they can to get into that inning with the lead to do it. If they're at home, obviously it's a different story, but out on the road, that's not the case.
And the Reds have the leadoff man on in that 14th inning. And that's going to drop. A run scores. Dexter's going to go first to third. 3 straight singles against Marmol. It's 5-2 Colorado. Have a night, Josh Rutledge.
I'm just getting ready to say, how about Rutt? What he's done since he came back from Colorado Springs. You could smile about it. That's a good night. Actually should have 4 hits. Was thrown out at first and was safe on a bad call by first base umpire Tony Randazzo. Again, right off the end of the bat, fooled by the pitch, well out front. Through his hands with the bat, with the infield end, floats it out into the outfield, and the 5th run comes in. For the Dodgers, their bullpen quiet right now.
So many times throughout the summer, through the difficult patches that Josh Rutledge has gone through in his sophomore year in the big leagues, Walt Weiss has been steadfast in his belief that Rutledge will come out the other side and be a very, very good big league player. He said he's a terrific athlete. He's got great makeup. It's nice to know as a player when you're not going well that your manager, even if you're in AAA, has your back and believes in you. 1-1 on Tulowitzki. Alfredo Simon, George, went the last 3 innings for the Reds and ultimately gave up that run.
Votto 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts in that ball game.
Runner goes, fouled off. Rutledge will come back.
By the way, Tulsa, I should say, excuse me, Modesto playing by say in the first round of the California League playoffs has tied the ball game.
The Cardinals are thankful it's September and they have an expanded roster because they used 8 pitchers tonight. Mike Matheny's about to walk out there and say, do we have any volunteers? 1-2 on Tulowitzki. Infield in, nobody out. Rockies up 5-2, 1st and 3rd. Changed the ruling earlier in the ball game. Volquez now is being charged with 4 earned runs. Good eye by Troy. So all 4 of the runs he gave up are earned. He's got the short stick. Jorge De La Rosa bidding for his 16th victory. If Troy hits one in the gap here, you can really open this thing wide open. The Reds have tied it up.
Also lost the first ball game in the playoffs there, 8-3.
You know who scored the tying run, George?
Ben Holiday.
No. Well, Cincinnati just scored. Billy Hamilton.
Steal another base.
I don't know. Zach Cozart singled him home.
Did he pinch hit in the ball game?
He. Hold on, I'll let you know. He pinch ran again. There goes the runner. Ball and safe at second. Rutledge with his 10th stolen base. And another runner available to score on a base hit.
Now you've got Rick Honeycutt on the phone right now. Matt Bilau's been throwing for a while in the Rockies bullpen. There's still no outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Big jump by Rutledge. Punto's going to cut the ball off for the play at the plate.
And Troy hits a little blooper center. Oh, what a catch. Dex will tag, and he'll score. Great base running by Dexter Fowler on the overthrow. Rutledge will go to 3rd.
Well, what happened, the ball hit the backside of the mound and popped straight into the air. That caused the flight of the ball. That did not get cut off by Young. So when it was thrown in by Schumacher, it catches the backside of the mound, and that caused it to fly over A.J. Ellis, the catcher. Off the end of bat at Tulowitzki. First out of the inning. Watch the throw coming in. Dive very quick to the feet. Fowler scores, but when the ball hits the mound, that's when it jumped up over the catcher.
So it's an E8, allowing Rutledge to go to 3rd. 1 out. They're going to walk Kadire, who's driven in 2 tonight, is 2 for 2 and a sac fly. They'll go first and third, try to induce a ground ball with Rosario coming up. Great play by Schumacher to make the catch.
Well, and to get to his feet that quickly.
As I said, great job by Deck. So many times you see, especially young players, that think, well, that may drop. I can come down halfway. Just tag. If it drops, you're going to walk home. And if he makes a circus catch, you tag and you go. And that's exactly what Fowler did. First and third now to the walk to Kadire. And Rosario coming up. Willeen 0 for 3 tonight. Willeen's got a 7-game hitting streak on the line. He's got 10 stolen bases. Six-2 Rockies.
Guarantee you, he ain't that slider one more time. Willeen's liable to hit it out of the ballpark.
Well, Cardinals got out of the frame, so they'll go to the 15th, tied at 4.
So you're right about that pitching staff. Now all of a sudden you start to get into all the September call-ups to try to finish up the ball game.
Willeen hitting .333 in the second half with 8 home runs, 28 driven in. We'll check on Kadire.
Well, I get it, and I know I understand why you would check on Kadire. 10 stolen bases. He's only been caught 3 times. Rockies would like to pour it on. You're up 4.
And a balk is called on Marble. Everybody moves 90 feet, which means the Rockies will get a 7th run. Rutledge comes down.
Well, you can't argue balls and strikes, and you can't argue box as a manager. So if Donnie wants to get dressed to get ready for the charter, he could go argue. Well, you get tacos out of the deal. It's a good thing, isn't it?
Donnie doesn't want tacos, but we do.
Not sure what he did. But all 3 guys yelled it.
Rosario strikes out. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Helton.
Cardinals now have a runner on second, 0-2 count with 1 out. Simon's out of the ball game. Ruzak is now in the ball game. crazy.
Two strikes on Helt. One and two on Todd. And Marmol wins this battle. In the inning, though, the Rockies scored 3 times against Carlos Marmol, and they extend their lead to 7-2 as we go to the 8th. Matt Belisle's going to take over. It'll be the middle of the Dodger order. Hanley Ramirez, Michael Young, Scott Van Slyke.
Well, Matty Belisle's got to come on to try to clean up this 8th inning. Hadn't had much fun the last couple of ball games. He'd like to have some fun on this mound tonight, though. 5-5, 64 2/3 innings. 23 holes, which puts him in the top in the National League, in the top 10 with 23, as Dougie works feverishly trying to find the answer for me.
Hanley's 1 for 3 tonight. He had a single his last time up.
Fourth in the National League, Matt Belisle is with those 23 holes. That's pretty good. Dougie, what's the most holes ever in a season, single season? Clippard has 29. That leads in Washington, so Matt not far behind him with 23. Don't tell me 40-something, Dougie. I'm not believing. 40 by Gregerson in 2010 in San Diego. Wow.
Curveball for
So you're saying he had more saves in 2010 than, I mean, more holes than they did saves on their ball club in 2010?
breaking ball is bounced foul.
Well, I tell you, the last thing you want as a manager is to get into one of these messes where the Cardinals and the Reds are right now. 49 saves by the ball club that year, 40 holes. Just curiosity got the better of me, wanting to know what it was. High fastball for Belial, or even the count at 2-2.
Fastball, bullet back up the middle.
Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Honey Smoked Fish Company, a ready-to-eat energizing superfood you can add to any dish that's healthy and delicious. By Dodge, visit Dodge.com or your local Dodge dealer today. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Michael Young's 2 for 3. Swinging strike at a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. That moves the runner up on a wild pitch. Reminder, the Rockies have hit that magic number of 7, so make your way to Taco Bell tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. And also, Taco Bell and Root Sports will be donating $250 to the Colorado I Have a Dream Foundation. 1-2 on Michael Young. And that's a base hit. And he's going to score it 7-3. Nobody out here in this 8th inning. And that's going through one of those difficult periods right now on the hill. That'll bring up Scott Van Slyke. Three-hit night for Michael Young. Well, it won't be Van Slyke. It's going to be Andre Ethier.
Now he's going to take a shot at trying to win this ball game. He's down 4. Straight across switch, I'm sure.
Ethier's got a hit in 7 of his last 8, hitting .440 with a couple home runs during that period. So he's in a good place. He takes ball 1.
Well, a ball game in St. Louis, they've used a few guys to try to get outs. All right. For instance, St. Louis has used so far 9 pitchers. Carlos Martinez in the ball game now, a young pitcher brought up recently. The Cincinnati Reds, of course, Doug, you know where this is leading me, right? They've used 7. Most pitchers used in the game. Dougie's looking right now. We're waiting on Matt Blau to get a double play or a fly ball to get an out, and we'll get a fly ball into Dexter.
One out, Ethier retired.
Remember yesterday, too, Rex Brothers threw a lot of pitches. He said he's available today and be able to throw if they want to use him in the 9th inning.
Rockies turn this. Bobble. Nope.
You just saw it coming. Rutledge had to charge the baseball, and you got all those cleat marks right out in front of you. I mean, you just could feel it coming. And Rutt feels horrible about it because that ball right there probably gets your pitcher out of the inning.
Now Uribe.
So watch right here is where it's going to just eat you up. I mean, you got all those cleat marks. It's not going to be a clean hop to you. You got guys running around the bases. Tough hop. But an error on Josh.
And Uribe hits one to right center field. That'll score at least one. A.J. Ellis is going to get a stop sign, and Uribe with a double. It's 7-4, and you got the tying run coming up.
Yeah, not turning that double play killed him. Matty out on trying to get that slider to the outer half of the plate, left it right in the middle of the plate, a little bit elevated for Uribe. He just takes it in the right field. Normally a dead pull hitter. Jim Wright's going to go out and visit a minute and buy a little bit of time while they get Manny Corpus up and get going.
So the day off tomorrow, you may see Walt, or he's not up. See if you wanted to have Brothers try to get 4 outs.
36 pitches yesterday.
Yeah.
More than likely not going to do that.
That's a good point.
If you're fighting and you're going and you're one back of the Dodgers right now, a little cream of cheese, sit in the tub for 2 hours, 6 Tylenol, and go get in 4 hours. But you're not. There's no reason to gamble that. Been a lot of people sitting around waiting on that guy to come out of the dugout the last couple of nights, and he's out. Who's that guy, Drew?
Yasiel Puig is his name.
Oh.
Schumacher was 1 out. And that's a base hit. Now only 1 run will score because on the live drive, Uribe had to head back to the bag. It's now 7-5.
And I know the base hit's being given up by Matt Bilal right now, but I still go back to the double play ball that doesn't get turned. But you got to complete it after that. Walt White's going to go to the mound and get him and bring in Manuel Corpus. Not making a bit of excuses for Matt Bilal, but he's made a lot of appearances and thrown a lot of innings. I hope right now that Manny can come in and flip this thing, keep the Rockies in a good place. It's 7-5. Puig, or who is this going to be? Carl Crawford now. Puig has been called back in a 7-5 ball game, so you're going to have Corpus facing the left-handed hitting Carl Crawford as he comes on with runners at first and third and one out. Rockies desperately needing that double play ball to be thrown here. Crawford has just faced Manny one time, and he's 1 for 1.
Significant difference in his splits, righties versus lefties. A 325 average against righties. First and third, a rebase at third. Schumacher's at first. 3 runs in here in the 8th. It's now all of a sudden 7-5. The Rockies had what was thought to be a comfortable lead. Needed 6 outs to get De La Rosa's 16th win. And now you're going to have to white knuckle it. Ball and a strike. When Manuel's on, he gets a lot of ground balls. You got a tough guy to double here, though, in Crawford.
Cincinnati tried to squeeze with 2 outs and a runner at third. It didn't work. Going to the 16th.
Seven runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Rockies. 5 runs, 11 hits, and an error on Los Angeles. He went 2-2.
Manning has not pitched in situations like this in quite some time for Corpus. The way he snacks that ball and had the adrenaline rush, it's good to see.
Yeah, but George, as you know,
he's
been there many times.
Sure. But I mean, to be in this part of his career, after up and down and around that he's been, it's a pretty good look to be 2-2 and hopefully get out of this thing.
And it's a 3-2 count now. Got it. Corpus strikes out. Carl Crawford, 2 out in the 8th.
Three-two slider on that outer half the plate, backed up, it looked like. Whether fastball on the outer side, but it looked like it backed up a little bit. The Mike Shell Subaru Super Mo gets the strikeout of Crawford after a steady diet of sliders to get to that count. Donnie's going to make that switch now. Jerry Harris will come out. Puig will swing the bat. This year, pinch hitting duties for him just 1 time, and he has a hit.
Eighth man to hit here in the 8th inning. Yasiel Puig against Manuel Corpus. .6'3", 245-pound rookie.
Pretty good pitch there. Manny couldn't believe it either. appeared to be inside. It was where it was caught by Willeen. Thought to be a strike. Walt hoping it would be called one along with it. Good thought process there. You got a young guy at the plate, and all 2 counts probably in his career. He's seen nothing but a fastball. So you go slider, and you put it in a perfect location to get the swing and miss. Because once this big man gets his swing committed, it's hard for him to stop it and put a check on it.
Two-one on Puig. Slider missed. It's 3-1. Nick Punto's on deck.
Matt Adams has just hit a home run in the top of the 6th inning.
That may be the second
Big,
home run he's
strong
hit in extra
first
innings.
baseman.
Fouled off. I got to check that, George. He may have hit one earlier.
Texas League Player of the Year 2 years ago when he hit 35 home runs and hit 330.
He did. That's the second home run he's hit in extra innings. Three and 2 count on Puig. 2 outs in the 8th inning. The Rockies up 7-5. Runners at first and third. He's got it. What a job by Manny Corpus. Comes on and strikes out Crawford and Puig off the Dodger bench and keeps the Rockies up by 2. The ball game for Rockies Real Time, part 2 of our series from the Dominican Republic, as we continue our look at the new Latin American Academy for the Colorado Rockies. It's in Boca Chica. We'll take you to the Diamond. We'll take you inside. You'll get to see all the ins and outs of this gorgeous new facility. Willeen Rosario, a graduate of the Rockies Latin American facility a few years ago. That's Rockies Real Time, Friday after the postgame. Terrific job, Manny Corpus. Guy with a slow heartbeat. He's been in those situations before, and he had to stare down Carl kept the Rockies out in front. Kept the Rockies, Jorge De La Rosa, in a position to win his 16th. Paco Rodriguez is now in the ball game. Second time we've seen Paco in the series, the former Florida star. DJ LeMahieu will begin things here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Blackman's on deck, and DJ with a base hit to right. Changes to tell you about. Carl Crawford's in left field for Hairston, and Andre Ethier is patrolling center field, and Schumacher is now in right field. Basically the starting outfield we saw yesterday. Charlie Blackmon. See if Blackmon lays down a bunt here. Rockies got after Rodriguez a little bit the other day and snapped a string of 14 scoreless appearances by Paco. Bunts fouled off. Faced 2 hitters, didn't retire anybody.
Give us a pinch hit home run to Rutledge.
Yeah, and then he walked Dexter. Oh, 2. Logan Ondrasek is pitching for Cincinnati. Trying to get the save. 1 out in the 16th.
He pitches for Cincinnati. Cardinals are on top 5-4.
Yeah, you're right. They have, you know what? They have this wrong on my little screen here.
Oh, don't be blaming it on the screen.
Well, he's got his name pitching.
Yeah, but it's in the top of the 16th or bottom. Martinez is now pitching for. He came out and pitched that 1 inning just a minute ago. Got a little bit of guy on third, and he tried to squeeze. Got out of it. Strikes out Chris Heisey to start the bottom of the 16th.
And the strikeout of Charlie.
Sweeper. Hardest pitch for left on left. When they throw that big sweeper at you like that, hard to stay on it. And if it has any down movement at all, very difficult.
Culberson. Pinch hit.
Culberson has pinch hit 14 times with 3 hits and an RBI.
One 1-0 on Culberson. And it's over. In 16 innings, the Cardinals salvage 1 of 3 against the Reds. 5-4 on the second extra inning home run by Matt Adams.
Yeah, tomorrow, didn't we? We talked about it. Reynolds was going to pitch, but I also read where. What'd you say, Dougie?
I keep trying to make it
the
a 3-game.
left-hander Crisani. I do too.
Yeah, it's a 4-game series. Yeah.
Who'd you say? Who? Cingrani's going to throw tomorrow for them coming off the disabled list. Tonight, Cincinnati really blew up its bullpen because, I mean, he had a lot of guys go a lot of innings.
Did they hold Reynolds back?
Huh?
Did they hold Reynolds back?
Reynolds did not pitch in the ball game. So, I mean, basically tomorrow for Cincinnati Reds, they're going to have available down in their bullpen Well, Chapman can still go. I'm sure LaCour only threw an inning, 2/3 of an inning today.
Simon would be out.
Simon's out. He's not going to be able to pitch tomorrow. Well, Ruzak 2, Simon 3, Hoover 2. Those guys are all three probably out of the ball game tomorrow. LaCour only went 2/3 of an inning.
Fielder's choice. Culberson with 2 outs at first, and that'll bring up Dex.
So they're it's going to be a little slim tomorrow. The guy coming off the DL, you got to be ready to do this. Well, watch this play by Uribe, former shortstop. Extremely quick hands and an accurate, strong arm. Not quick enough to get Culberson. Phillips hit his 18th home run in that ball game. Adams hit 2 home runs in that ball game.
Beard will come in next with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Rockies up 7-5. Rockies 7 and the Dodgers 5. 1 on and 2 outs. Brian Wilson looking for 1 more out. Dexter Fowler will come up. Dex is 1 for 4 tonight.
More sliders and cutters than his normal fastball. He's got very good numbers at Coors Field. All those came while one game in a Dodger uniform, majority in a San Francisco uniform.
Side, ball 1 on Fowler. Hitting stars time for the Rockies. Josh Rutledge 3 for 4. He scored 3 runs. Tulowitzki a couple of RBIs. Kadyr's got a couple hits, a couple RBIs. Rutledge is on deck. Todd Helton hit a home run back in the 2nd inning. The only long ball tonight. Rockies 10 games under 500 beginning play tonight, but against the National League right at 500, 61 and 61. That's 3-1. Yeah, Wilson George has had to reinvent himself because I mean, he used to blow 95 to 97.
Well, all sliders and cutters. Talked about that earlier. Fastball will be 88 to 91 now. Talked to several scouts that went to his tryout when he was in Los Angeles. He got it up to 93, but that was just reports there. But it's the idea of knowing how to pitch and knowing what he's doing. I mean, this guy does not turn down the mound. He is maybe not somebody you want to have your daughter go out to dinner with every night, but he's somebody you'd like to hand the ball to in the 8th and 9th.
We'll go to the 9th inning. Dexter Fowler, Nick Punto colliding. At first, Rockies up by 2. Pasco to Winter Park in Copper Mountain just by opening a new Wells Fargo checking package. Wells Fargo Bank member FDIC. And by Ramtron's Guts, Glory Ram. Rockies 3 outs away from winning a ball game against the Dodgers, snapping their 6-game winning streak. And Jenny Cavnar, it would mean the 16th victory for one Jorge De La Rosa.
That it would. He will be part of our topicals tonight as we approach the Toyota post-game show. Drew, I want you to pay close attention. We got an 80s theme tonight. That was probably your
so
era.
I don't have to pay attention,
music.
just
George,
Drew?
George,
just
you weren't there last night, so I didn't know. You're here tonight. All right, here you go. Ready? Ready?
Yes.
All right, first one. Eddie, we've got your number. We're talking about Edison Volquez. He cannot pitch against the Rockies, whether he's in a Padres uniform or in Dodger blue. It's the Rockies offense that dominates him. And we're also going to talk...
His number was 867-5309.
Something like that. We're also going to talk a little De La Rosa because, as you mentioned, Drew, Jorge De La Rosa, he could tie the National League for wins with 16. And how about Michael Kadire? Busting a move. That guy now has the highest batting average in the National League. 331. Not too bad. You guys like it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. Now, if he were to win a batting title.
Do you guys think that my voice lessons are paying off from Amy Champion in the 2nd grade? That all that money that my mom and dad paid? What do you think?
Absolutely. I'm disappointed that last night all of a sudden
American Idol tryouts auditions.
I know they still haven't called. Do you think you could put in a good word, George?
Oh, absolutely.
Why'd you get shy last night? We asked you to sing again.
I don't know. George wasn't there. He could have done double encouragement, you know. All right, I'm a one-hit wonder. I got to see you later.
All right. See you, Jenny, in a few. Rex Brothers up 0-2 right now on Nick Punto. 30 pitches last night for Brothers. Well, this has been tough from the 7th inning forward. De La Rosa in 6 innings allowed just 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Brothers is the 6th pitcher to try to get 9 outs. But if you're shaking hands, you don't care how you get it done.
Nope, sure don't. I'll tell you that right now.
Two and two. Just want to keep traffic off the base paths. Clearly, when you're in this part of the lineup with Hanley Ramirez on deck.
And the one good thing about it, I mean, they did pinch hit an awful lot of guys back there a few minutes ago. He emptied out the main portion of his bench, but some of them stayed in the ball game too. Ethier stayed in the ball game.
Ethier would hit 4th in the inning if it got that far. Don't want anybody on when he comes up though. And in Hanley Ramirez
still in the 9 hole. You get that far, you're in trouble.
It was 0-2, now it's 3-2. Punto's doing his thing. He's a battler at the plate. To Punto. Well, the 7th and 8th weren't easy, so I guess the 9th may be a little bit of a ride also.
I say it did come back and beat Modesto 4-2 in that ball game. Tyler Anderson took the loss in the ball game. Anderson worked 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, a couple of earned. Craig Sitton came in, a hard-throwing left-hander, worked an inning in relief. Nothing happened then.
Oh, and 1 on Ramirez. Deep drive left field. Caught by Cargo. We didn't identify that he had come into the ball game. And thank goodness he did. He got a good read on it. Made the catch right in front of the wall.
Might not be able to swing the bat to drive in runs, but he could sure go get hard line drives to left. And he did it right here. Timed perfectly, got his leap up into the air, checked the runner at first, held him at his spot. So now you got a chance for a double play ball. Young's the one that hit the ball a minute ago to Rutledge that they did not turn it on. Excuse me, A.J. Ellis was the hitter. Young was a base hit to right, came around to score a run.
Yeah, he's got 3 hits tonight. Fastball way outside. Pitches do you think Rosario's caught tonight?
It's not hard to add up. You want me to? Dougie will do it for us. Won't you, Doug? Can you do that real quick for us, Doug? He'll have it within seconds.
Everybody wants an immediate finished product, but this kid's gotten better in a lot of ways. Blocking the ball this year, framing pitches, not perfect, nobody's perfect, and his leadership. You see him go out to the mound and take charge. 1-1. I like what he just did there with kind of a little pop to the chest. Directs brothers, let's go, let's get this thing done. He loves to play, man. He loves to play.
161 to answer your question.
Ground ball to short. Can they turn it? There's one on the first. Double play. Ball game over.
Rockies beat the Dodgers 7-5. Wasn't always easy late. Jorge De La Rosa, National League best 16th victory. He's 16-6. The 16 wins matches his career high set in the playoff season of 2009. It's also his 35th win at Coors Field against just 12 defeats in his career. Edinson Volquez takes the loss. He's 9-11. 5 of those 11 losses at the hands of the Rockies this year. And the save to Rex Brothers, his 15th of the year. Tonight, Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Delivery. The game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. De La Rosa goes 6 innings. He allows just a pair of runs. After giving up a marker in the first, he was outstanding. De La Rosa walked just 1. He struck out 4. And when you need big outs, Jorge always seems to be able to get them. Visit JimmyJohns.com to find a location near you. So the Rockies take this series finale 7-5. De La Rosa, the story. He's now 16-6 as we go to center.